is the greatest evidence against the theory. But back on the mudflats of Spain, the jury is still out. Dr. Freund and his team believe they're on the verge of uncovering a city that fits all the criteria laid out by Plato.
We're standing here at the outskirts of the Doña Ana National Park, the source of tremendous speculation that perhaps this was the place where Atlantis was located, and this was the place, the mud, the shoal into which it disappeared.
In Doñana Park, the team reviews the new aerial photographs taken from their kite and balloon cameras.
And then oh, this is interesting right here.
This picture right here, at the higher altitude, you may see this rectangle that we were talking about.
Any circular or rectangular patterns could provide strong evidence of a footprint of a lost city.
This particular feature was not included in our list, so this is new that Paul's photography has revealed to us.
And this area has been cleared by the grass cutters for thatch. And even after clearing, the feature was still visible from the kite photo. It's clearly not just a feature that's visible in vegetation, but visible in the earth.
These traces may be the last markers of Atlantis.
This is, I think, the most important feature in the aerial photography that's been done. It's the one that most resembles anything like Atlantis. It has an area that looks like a port leading into a large circle where the concentric circles would have been.
Freund is convinced that the photographs reveal a pattern that matches Plato's description. A series of circular harbors with a central canal connecting them to the ocean. The team also identifies other supporting features.
Circular features, linear features, parallel features, all in the order of a human scale. So, for instance, things that look like pathways or roadways that are 1 meter to 2 meters across, features that look like buildings that are 4 to 8 meters across.
The team now uses ERT, electrical resistivity tomography, to record images of what lies underneath the circular patterns.
What we're doing here is we're running a bunch of current through the ground, and we're measuring what comes back from that, and we'll be able to get a picture of what's in the subsurface up to about 12 meters below the ground surface.
The crew frantically searches for any remnants. The lost city of Atlantis may finally be in their grasp.
Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't go very far.
But another ancient mystery also looms large.
Yeah. The rectangle here, the rectangle there.
The biblical story of the lost city of Tarshish. Tarshish is a city mentioned many times in the Bible. Many scholars believe that it's simply another name for the ancient and famous city of Tartessos.
Most scholars agree that Tartessos was located in southern Spain and that Tarshish was located in southern Spain. Tartessos was Tarshish.
In the written sources, Tartessos and Tarshish are famous for their metals. Trade ships would travel for years from as far away as the Middle East to fill their holds. But Tartessos and Tarshish abruptly disappear from the historical and biblical records. It's as if the cities suddenly ceased to exist. Freund believes that's because in ancient days, Tartessos and Tarshish went by another name, Atlantis.
We have two remarkably similar stories being told in antiquity. The story of Tarshish in the Bible and the story of Atlantis in Plato and Roman sources. In the story of Plato, Atlantis is a port city located on an island at the far end of the known world, where deep water ships would come, taking 3 years to arrive at the end of their journey. In the Bible, Tarshish was that city that may have been built on an island, a deep water port, at the end of the known world for the Bible, and it was a place that took 3 years, according to the Book of Chronicles, for them to arrive at the end of their journey.
Tartessos is Tarshish is Atlantis. It's an interesting theory. Each city is documented as a famous port that mysteriously disappears from the written record. And the similarities don't end there. Each of the 3 cities is said to have great mineral wealth, with access to massive amounts of gold, silver, or copper.
Plato certainly does talk about mines, which the Atlanteans have access to, and one of these mines being for this probably fantastical metal called orichalc, though some archaeologists think they know what it might be or what it might be like. All we know is that it glows like fire.
Scholars translate orichalc as mountain copper. Today, just upriver from the Doñana mudflats, the hills shadowing the Rio Tinto are mined for gold, silver, and copper. And there's evidence to suggest there's been mining here for over 5,000 years. The mudflats' proximity to these deposits of valuable ore make any ancient city located here a strong candidate for Atlantis. It's just one more clue that points to the coast of southern Spain as the best location for the lost city. But the only way to know for sure is to get a closer look.
The anomalies we have seen and the structures are completely square. This is curious because these four are forming a line 2 meters high. For me, it's the most interesting zone in this area. My best option is to go there to dive.
Using side-scan sonar, the team isolates 5 areas off the southern coast of Spain that may hold remnants of the lost city of Atlantis. The sonar images show what looks like man-made structures on the seafloor.
Right now we are sailing to one of the points that we want to check. We call it the cathedral. It's really big. It's about 40 meters long. The main characteristic that we are looking for is if it's human-made or not.
It's the beginning of storm season. High winds and foul weather pick up at the end of September and continue through the winter. The divers have only a small window of opportunity to investigate the site before the weather turns ugly.
We have a good news. Strong wind of yesterday blow dark water that came from the river. We'll have better visibility than we expected.
Nearly 39 feet below the surface, the divers discover some unusual formations. Stones that seem to have been cut. Maybe by the men of Atlantis. These stones may have once been part of the great city walls that Plato describes.
Man-made, yeah. It's too perfect to be casual, like a second look, yeah.
Escúchame, entonces no quiero utilizar la radio para decir estas cosas. Ha encontrado de unas vigas, una piedra redonda circular hecha por el hombre y todo el corte que tiene la estructura es humano.
As each diver surfaces, more details of the unique discovery are revealed.
Había un ladrillo que no era cuadrado, terminaba, parecía que estaba trabajado también. Era una piedra, pero terminaba en pico, en cuña. Some places is like a wall, no? And there are like steps from the stair, very mysterious, no? Ahí ya tenemos, ¿no?
Increíble, increíble.
The dive is a success, but the team's geologist, Juan Antonio, doesn't want to jump to any hasty conclusions. First, he needs to review the hours of underwater footage. Any discoveries from the diving expedition could be linked to potential finds in Doñana, so the team continues their search on land. Archaeologists conduct a careful survey of the surface, hunting for any cultural remains.
When we're looking for Atlantis, we're not just looking for the buildings of Atlantis. What we're looking for is the culture of Atlantis. We may not find all of the contours of the city. You could find a wall, you can find 2 walls, you can find rectangles. it still doesn't connect it directly with the ancient Near East and all of the great civilization from the Aegean through the Mediterranean. But every once in a while in archaeology, you come upon a smoking gun, something that connects all the dots for you.
While searching within the large circular patterns in the soil, Freund and his colleagues suddenly discover two incredible artifacts.
He's a magnet, but look at that, look at that. Oh my gosh, people wait a whole career to find one of these little figurines, and to find two, just magnificent. It's an ancient statuette, probably at least 2,000 years old. She is one of the most spectacular kinds of goddesses. Is she Astarte or Ishtar?
If they are Astarte or Ishtar, it would make them Bronze Age icons, dating as far back as 4,000 years. The beautiful figures may represent a direct connection between this area and the great civilizations of the ancient world. From the ancient Near East, through the Aegean, to the Mediterranean.
And those two small figurines can connect it. Because if we find the culture that fits into that context, then we found Atlantis.
Meanwhile, now back on land, Claudio, Juan Antonio, and the team of divers carefully review their footage, analyzing what seems to be the ruins of a man-made structure.
Yo veo aquí una superficie que parece el techo de un bloque. Imagínate que eso fuera una pared, un bloque hecho por el hombre. Parece un muro. Pero yo veo dentro de la piedra y veo líneas. Yo no veo un muro, yo veo un estrato diaclasado. Este diaclasado corresponde a esfuerzos regionales y seguro, vamos, yo apostaría que es geológico.
Yo no puedo afirmarlo con rotundidad, pero me cuesta creerlo, ¿no? Me cuesta verlo. Parece que